Hi friends, I have another video for you today. I got some more candle mail, so I wanted to share with you. Today, I did an order from Goose Creek. I don't have a ton of Goose Creek candles, but I was intrigued by the Pop-Tarts collection that they have, so I wanted to go ahead and order them. They had them, I think, for $13.99 the other day, which I know isn't a great Goose Creek price. But then a couple days later, they actually price reduced down to $11.99. So I contacted customer service. And since it was before my order shipped, they sent me a gift card for the price difference. So just keep that in mind if you order from Goose Creek, because they do have a lot of different sales that if the price goes down and your order hasn't shipped yet, they'll give you some credit for that price reduction. So in regards to Pop-Tarts candles, I don't know. I did like Pop-Tarts when I was a kid. I usually liked the fruity frosted ones. I wasn't as much into like the fudgy chocolatey type ones. I think the most I would stray from like a fruit Pop-Tart was the cinnamon and brown sugar. That was about as far as I would go. So I did order all of them. There's 8 of them, so we could see what they smell like together. I'm wondering if these are just going to be generic gourmands that just happen to be fruit flavored, or if we're really going to get some like Pop-Tart essence from them. And another thing, I usually would just eat my Pop-Tarts cold. I rarely ever would put them into the toaster, maybe every once in a while, but mostly just cold out of the package like a good college student should, right? All right, I've got them all here and I haven't smelled them yet. They just arrived. The box was a little soggy because it's a rainy day here in Cleveland, but the candles themselves were dry, which is always a good sign. So let's see what we've got. Okay, the first one that I pulled out of the crate is frosted s'mores. And oh, there are notes on the bottom, so that's good. Warm pastry, chocolate, marshmallow, frosting, and sugar. Ooh, it is definitely like a fudgy, chocolatey smell. Yeah, it's definitely a fudgy candle to me on cold. I don't know if it's necessarily Pop-Tarty, if that's an actual word. But yeah, if you like chocolate candles, I would say this could be a good bet for you. It's a fudgy chocolate candle, and I'm not sure if it's marshmallow or like a generic vanilla that kind of complements the chocolate, but this is definitely a chocolate candle. There's no mistaking it. Because it's called s'mores, I'm not sure if they're expecting it to be like a graham cracker type pastry. But I don't get any graham cracker on cold. So I would call it really more of a chocolate fudge candle on cold. So we will see how this one is when it burns. For saying that I don't have a lot of chocolate candles, I keep kind of procuring more and more chocolate candles. I should have like a chocolate candle battle at some point. So that is frosted s'mores. Next, let's see, frosted blueberry, which is warm pastry, blueberry filling, frosting, and sugar. Okay, there is, so I get the sense of blueberry. I'm gonna have to see how this one goes. Every once in a while, my nose on certain scents picks up like a corn chippy type note. I got it actually on the Goose Creek grape soda, which to me smelled really great on cold, but then when I burned it, it started to smell like tortilla chips. And I do get this one a little. So I don't know if it's something that's in some of the oils that gets used sometimes. I'm curious to see though if it sticks around when it's burning. But I don't even get that much sweetness. On cold, I'm really getting that like corn chippiness with a little bit of, I don't know, like maybe a hint of berry behind it. But that could be a my nose problem. I know we've talked about this on other videos too, that every once in a while I have a note that my nose just picks up as weird. Other people may not get that, but since these I think you have to get online, I wanted to smell them for everybody and give you my honest opinion. I'll keep you posted on if that fragrance kind of sticks around when I'm burning it. So that is frosted blueberry. Okay, next is another fruity selection here. Frosted raspberry, warm pastry, raspberry filling, frosting, and sugar. A lot of these are probably going to be repetitive because they're Pop-Tarts, right? So this one, I don't get that kind of tortilla corn chippy note that I did on the blueberry. This one I do get like a tangy raspberry, which I always enjoy a tart tangy fruit. So I think this one's a little more promising than the blueberry. And it's not a medicinal raspberry at all. It is, I think, this one I think is so far the most appealing out of the third one to my nose. I don't get too much pastry in here. And yeah, it's mostly the raspberry filling on this one. So yeah, not a lot of frosting. Mostly the raspberry filling, and it's like a tart raspberry filling. So this one's the most promising so far. Okay, let's see what's next. Ooh, frosted cherry, warm pastry, cherry filling, frosting, and sugar. So this was always my favorite flavor of actual Pop-Tarts. So let's see if the scent memory is there. So this one on cold, the cherry does lean a little bit like Luden's cough drop cherry. If anyone's familiar with that American cough lozenge that you can get, I don't think there's even actual any medicine in that. I think it's really just cherry candy that you can eat to keep yourself from coughing. I maybe get a little bit of, there's a little something behind it, but I don't really get it like a pastry or a frosting. That one will be interesting. I'm going to try this one and see how it is when it's burning. But the cherry in it reminds me, if you're familiar with Kringle, the 3-wick, I think they put it out as Royal Cherries. It's either Royal Cherry or Royal Cherries. It's not the Reserve. Reserve is more perfumey in that cherryness. But this is kind of, the cherry note in that is like the 3-wick from their fruit collection that they had over the summer. That's like the same cherry that I get in this. So that is frosted cherry. Next up, let's see. Frosted brown sugar cinnamon. So this is warm pastry, gooey brown sugar filling, frosting, and sugar. Ooh, I like this one. This is definitely a bakery cinnamon to me. And I do get that hint of the like Pop-Tart crust behind it. This to me so far is the most authentic to a Pop-Tart that I've smelled. And I also tend to like, cinnamon sugar type fragrances. So this one I think is a good bet if you like cinnamon sugar type scents. All right, next up in the candle crate here is frosted wild berry. I've never eaten this flavor of Pop-Tart before. It seems like more of a nouveau type Pop-Tart. I'm a child of the 80s. This seems more of like a more late model Pop-Tart than we used to have when I was a kid. Maybe it's even like a 90s or 2000s Pop-Tart. Let's see, what are the notes on it? Warm pastry, wild berry filling, frosting, and sugar. This one is similar to the raspberry, where I do get like a tart berry. I don't get much else behind it. It's mostly, to my nose, the berry, and it's kind of a nondescript berry. So I think wild berry would be accurate for that. So it's just like a tart berry. It's not a cherry, but it's definitely not the same as the raspberry. It's a little more, I guess, kind of muddled. There's definitely got to be some blueberry in there too. So that's frosted wild berry. Next up is frosted strawberry. This was probably my second choice if they didn't have the frosted cherry, would be the frosted strawberry. The notes on this are warm pastry, strawberry filling, frosting, and sugar. This is a nice strawberry, actually. It's not medicinal, but it's also, to my nose, not too sweet. It's a little bit jammy, but it's not like a sickeningly sweet type of filling. This one is I like this strawberry that's in this. We'll have to see when it's burning, but it's definitely less tart than the raspberry and the wild berry. So if you don't like more tart fruits, I would go for the strawberry. Yeah, and I don't really get a frosting on it. I mostly get the fruit on cold. So that is frosted strawberry. And there's one more left here. Oh, this one. This one I've definitely never eaten. Frosted cookies and cream. This one, it seems like another one, kind of like the wild berry, that it's like a more newer generation Pop-Tart than I would have eaten as a kid. Warm cookie pastry, vanilla creme filling, frosting, and sugar. This one, is, I think it's a little more vanilla than chocolate, but I definitely smell both there. It kind of reminds me of if it was a cookies and cream type ice cream without that coldness you would get from an ice cream. I am curious. I know they also have like a cookies and cream pudding, I think. I wonder if this is the same. Yeah, I like it. If you just want kind of a gourmand and you like chocolate, but not like a fudgy chocolate, this is kind of just like a nice balanced chocolate and vanilla. Yep, I don't hate it. So that's always a good thing. All right, so my least favorite, surprisingly, is going to have to be, unfortunately on cold, frosted blueberry. It's just that like that corn chips note. I think there's something in my nose that I think there's an additive that they will put in. I don't know if it's lemongrass or a citrus accord or something to make something more tart in like an artificial way, that it comes off to my nose as corn chips, which isn't pleasant for me. It's not my favorite that happens because I really do enjoy citrus candles. I'm still trying to figure out what note that is exactly, and so far Google has not been a help. If you know what kind of like citrusy, lemongrassy type note could possibly come off as corn chips to people, let me know, because that is the one I need to avoid. The problem is, I don't think they always list whatever it is in here. So maybe it's like a binder or a fragrance additive or something. But yeah, so my least favorite is the frosted blueberry. So I'll probably actually try and burn this one first just to see if that sticks around. Other candles I've had that do this to my nose, it does stick around. So we will see what happens. And then I think honorable mention is going to go to the frosted raspberry. This one to me, I think, is the most reminiscent to me of an actual fruit Pop-Tart. This does smell like the filling of a Pop-Tart. I wish there was a little bit more pastry to it, but it's not absent. And it does, the more that you smell it, you can almost kind of picture that kind of crispy frosting, that's kind of glazed on the outside of a Pop-Tart. So I think if you wanted to pick a fruity option, I would actually surprisingly go with the raspberry. And then I think my first choice would be, if you could only pick one, would be the frosted brown sugar cinnamon. It's definitely a brown sugar cinnamon. So if that's not your wheelhouse there, don't go for it. But you get the brown sugar and cinnamon filling on the inside, and then you get the whole Pop-Tart in this one. Like, this is the most believable. I'm just opening that little foil packet and getting the Pop-Tart out to eat it. So yes, I think my winner for the Pop-Tarts collection is frosted brown sugar cinnamon. All right, everybody. So that is my Goose Creek Pop-Tarts haul. I don't have, like I said, I don't have a ton of Goose Creek candles. The only other kind of licensed collection that I have is that Willy Wonka collection. I think they did it last fall. I have one burning back here. I have Magical Life of Candy back there. I picked this up, or the Willy Wonka collection, I picked up. It was being clearanced out. I think I got each of them for like $8.99 each, and they were all still available. So I went ahead and picked them up. Again, that's another childhood nostalgia memory for me, where I don't know, I felt like it would be fun to have that collection, especially since they were being clearanced off. And this Magical Life of Candy, if you can catch it anywhere, it's actually a very nice fragrance. It has some fruity notes. Let me see if I can look them up for you, what they are. Since it's burning right now, I obviously don't want to pick it up because that would be dangerous. Don't do that. Let me look in my little app here and see if I can find it. Okay, here we go. Magical Life of Candy. It says tangerine, raspberry, peach, and spun sugar, which makes you think that this would just be a fruit bomb of a candle, but it's not. So the best way I can think to describe what you actually get from this candle is that you just went trick-or-treating with your pillowcase, right? And you just get home and you and your siblings just dump all your candy into the middle of the living room floor so you can sort through them. You know, your parents always needed to check the candy because of, you know, bad people. But you get a little bit of fruitiness. You get a little bit of chocolate, interestingly. I almost get a hint of like peanut butter cup somewhere in there. It's really like every little piece of candy together is coming into your nose. The best second way I can describe it is possibly a Tootsie Pop. So the lollipop fruitiness on the outside with the more kind of chocolatey inside. But it's definitely an interesting candle, and I've been enjoying it. I think if Goose Creek would ever come back with this fragrance, it would be awesome as a Halloween fragrance and call it like trick or treat bag or something like that. I think that would be really great. So Goose Creek, bring this one back and just call it something else. But yeah, that's my little story about the Willy Wonka Goose Creek collection that I have. So I hope everyone's having a fabulous day. We're halfway through the week, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you.